Hello! So today I'm going to show you how to make a clock, sort of like what is in Stardew Valley and Five Nights at Freddy's. That's sort of like in-game time shown on like a HUD, um, using Unreal Engine 5. So I'm going to start with making a top-down game. I'm going to make it scalable just to make it go better, and time HUD. Sure, time HUD works. Hit create. And we're going to start by making a widget to actually have the HUD and bind those to specific things. So in top-down template, we're going to go to the content drawer, right click, I'm going to create a new folder to hold my HUDs. And in that, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to UI. Where is UI? Where is UI? I'm blind. User interface. And then click widget blueprint. User widget. And I'm going to name this clock. And I'm going to open this up. And wait for it to open. I'm going to drag this up here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do in the command palette is I'm going to search for a canvas panel. Let's drag it in. And now we have this. And the next things that we're going to need are text box. Text is fine. And I'm going to need 5 of these total. So, I'm going to set the text of this one to be 0. Make a copy. I'm going to make 4 copies of this. And they're all kind of really big, so move them around. And then I'm going to make 1 more copy. And this copy is going to, instead of being a 0, it's going to be a colon. Because I want to have, like, 4-digit time. So now I'm going to zoom in here and try and get these all in a way that I like to look at them. Okay, so they're not even, but they look fine. So now I'm going to say this is, I'm going to switch these in this, and this is, I'm going to rename it to hours H1, rename H2, and this is going to be minutes to, I'll put that order, minutes to, drop that on there, and this one is going to be minutes 1. So, now that we have those 4 things all set and ready to go, I want to set up the mechanism by which we're actually going to make this work. So, we're going to go to the graph, like the graph in this corner, and we're going to start messing around in here. The first thing I want to do is create a bunch of variables to sort of make it make sense to me. So we're going to add hours. How did I mess that one up? We're going to add hours and change this to be an integer. And we're going to add minutes, or mins, that's easier. That's also an integer. Fantastic. So I want our day to start at 7 in the morning. So I am going to, on event construct, I'm going to drag this out and set, I don't know, I'm going to grab minutes, set, do that, and we're going to set it to 0, and I want it to be 7 in the morning. So I'm going to drag hours out, set hours, and we're going to set that to 7. And now that's good. I'm going to move these up here so I have more space down here. So, event tick, since I want my day to be 5 minutes, this can be changed, but for me, I'm going to have the day be 5 minutes long. I calculated, I guess, to make that happen, that on every tick, I want to delay 1.5 seconds. And then once that delay happens, I want to set seconds again, or minutes. I'm sorry, I'm saying seconds. Set minutes, and then I need to do addition. Add 1 minute, and then I want to get minutes. So now I'm getting the minutes, I'm adding 1, and now I'm setting minutes to that. So, and then we want to have a branch, because then if it's like 60 seconds, like, or 60 minutes, it will make the hour go up by 1. So that's what we're going to check for next. So from this, we're going to do a branch that has the condition greater than, and we're going to get minutes again. I keep saying seconds. And greater than 59. Not 590, that's not right. And so if this is false, nothing happens. Okay, so on true, we're going to have this go to a set minutes. True, set minutes to, or I'm sorry, hours. I did this for a different thing and now I'm getting it really messed up. Get hours, add, no. So, we're going to add 1. This is set minutes, not hours. I'm losing it. Set hours. And then coming off of that, we want to set minutes now to 0. And if you're using 24-hour time, this is fine, but if you want to use 12-hour time, we're gonna swap this a little bit around so that it's gonna check and make sure that the hours are not exceeding 12. So if it's 12, then it's not gonna add 1, it's gonna go back down to 1. So I'm actually gonna move this about a little bit. Move this up here. And we're actually gonna do another branch and have it say, which is, I want to get hours and greater than, when it hits, if it's greater than 11? Yeah, if it's greater than 11. This is going to be false. If it's greater than 11, I want to set hours. To 1. And set minutes to 0. Oopsie. To 0. Okay. So that should be the background of the minutes sorted. Now we need to specifically do the functions for each of the text boxes to actually update it, because if we run it right now, nothing is going to show, nothing is going to really happen. So actually, let's sort that first. Let's go to, so if you, now we're going to make sure that the HUD shows up when you actually play. So we need to go into the level blueprint to actually show the clock widget. So to do that, you're going to go into the little graph thingy up here, open level blueprint. It's going to open up, and we're going to right click, begin play. On event begin play, we're going to create the clock widget. So create clock widget. Create widget, select class, I have clock. And the owning player is we're going to put a get player controller. Get player controller. And then we're going to do an add to viewport. And this just allows us to see the HUD when we do that. So we're going to compile and save. And then if we go back to here and we hit, I'm going to run it in a new editor window, just I prefer that. It's going to crash. You see in the upper left corner, we have the clock. It's not doing anything, but it's there. So we shouldn't need this anymore. And we're going to go back into clock. So in clock, if we go back to designer, we need to create functions to control each one of these text boxes. So over here, next to text, it says bind. You're going to click that and say create binding. That's going to create a function over here, and I am going to show you how to make this work. So for H1, hours 1, we're going to want to have a 0 if the time is in 12-hour time. We're going to want to have a 0 there if it's between 1 and 9, and then 10, 11, 12, we want it to actually be a 1, or whatever. If you're using 24-hour time, it's much the same thing, because the way we're going to do it should be the same, but I'll show you how to do it. I'm just, if there is any differences, this is for 12-hour time, and I'll point out if there is difference, but there shouldn't be, but there might. I honestly don't know. Okay, so this looks chaotic, and I am going to move this over here because a lot of what's happening is going to happen between these two nodes. So the first thing I'm going to get is the hours thing. I'm just going to get this because we're not actually setting anything, we're just getting. And we're going to convert this to text. It's an integer right now. So I'm going to convert this to text, and then convert this to a string, which is what this little box is, and then I'm going to get the length of this, and then we're going to do a greater, or a less than, I'm sorry, less than, it's less than 2, not 20, it's less than 2, then we're going to get a branch. We're going to put this condition in here. If it's less than 2, and this is true, the returning value is going to be 0 because this is the first. So if it's only a 1-digit thing, the first number is going to be blank. If this is false, we need another return node. But we want to change this return value to be the string of this, get character from string, return value, get from a array. I believe I use a get a copy. Yeah. And this should put a string in here, and it will reconvert to string when you do that, which is very convenient. And this now will update the first character of text. So if it's a 1 length thing, so if it's 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 1, 4, 5 a.m., it will have a 0 in front of the number. So this is done. We're going to compile and save. I hit this a bunch of times. And then we are going to go back to the designer. I apologize, designer. And we've done this one, so now we're going to do H2. And we're going to do the same process. So we're going to hit create binding, and it's going to bring us here. And we're going to do the next thing. So the next one is pretty much identical. Like, we're going to, I'm sorry, not identical. We're going to create almost 2 identical processes, one for hours and one for minutes. This is the second one, which does the second value. So we are going to get hours again, get hours, and then we're going to do to text, and then we're going to do to string, and then we are no, don't do that, and then we are going to do get character array from string. And then also out of this, we are going to get the length, and we're going to use that length to find less than. And then we're going to say 2 again, because this is the same sort of process. And we're going to get a branch out of this, and the event that's going to feed that is this. It's up here. This is all getting very jumbled very quickly. This branch. Return node 0 if this is true. Oopsie. Return value. I want to copy this. I don't want this is 0. And then if this is false, we are going to, from this, we are going to get at 0. Pardon. This is H2, not minutes 1. I am silly. If this is less than 2, if this is true, and it is less than 2, if it is false, oh, right, okay, duh. If this is true, we don't want 0, actually. We want the first option will be like a 7, it's only 1. And then if it's a 2-digit number, we want the first spot. Sorry, I lost my own thread. What to do. And that should handle the hour. So if we save and compile and save, we go run top-down map, it'll show 7. It will not just show 0s, it'll actually update to 7. And if we wait enough time, it will update to 8, I hope. But let's get the minutes in, because I don't want to sit and wait that long. And this recording is already 20 minutes long. Great. So we need to go back to the designer, and we need to do the same process for both of our minutes. Minutes 1 and minutes 2. And to make my life easier, I'm going to copy and paste these things from H1, H2. This is M1. I'm literally going to copy everything except these 2 return things. And paste. And this feeds this. This feeds this. This should be minutes. Mins. No, stop that. Get mins. Delete. Is there anywhere else where it gets minutes? No, it doesn't. Lovely. This should be fine. Let me double check, but yeah, this is all plugged in properly. Return value, this should be 0. And that's good. Awesome. So now we're going to go back to, not there, we're going to go to our designer again, and then we're going to go to M2, and we're going to say bind, create binding. Fantastic. Delete that, except this will not let us do that. That's nice. And then we're going to H2, and we're going to grab just everything. I think it will allow us to paste everything except the one thing, which is perfect. And then we just feed this in here. And then instead of hours, we delete hours, and we get a reference to minutes. And bam! Save, compile, save, compile, save, compile. I do it a bunch of times. And then if we hit run, it starts to count the time, which I think is very cool. And this will update as it goes up. And as soon as it hits 10, you'll see how our system works. It'll hit 9, and then 10. But the time saved internally is just a whole number. And you saw how we did that. So this is my modified clock, and you can change the delay to make it last however long you want. So if you want it to be a minute every second or however long you want it to update, you can do that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and yeah.